Okie dokie. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this live for the most part. I feel like those who are, and I'm gonna be looking back and forth, you guys, because I have two things going on. Hey to my YouTube family. Um, I'm not entirely sure if this is gonna be up on Facebook too, but hey to whoever this is gonna be up on, and hey to my Facebook family. So, so I did a thing when I woke up this evening after having a much needed nap. Um, I have questions about what's happening right now and what we can expect to happen on first and foremost for me on a personal level within my life, but then also on a more world stage type of level, like what's going on in the ethers, what's going on in our government, and with the way that things have been happening. I want to know. I have questions. So, this was what motivated me. I was led to pull out this deck that I have. It's based up on runes. So, I also want to apologize right now because I'm speaking kind of low because it's late and my baby is asleep and I want to keep her that way. And then I apologize because I know I sound very nasally. I am still fighting a cold, which which a lot of us could be experiencing that right now too. So just to hop into what I got when I sat before my altar today, and my intentions were set to get information and wisdom from the Most High about what's happening in our world right now and even in my life. The messages that I got from my runes deck, the bottom of the deck, it has this card here. I'm gonna show both people, both groups of people. It has this card here. It's pronounced, I want to say, Issa, and it represents ice. Okay. And I was looking at the card, and if you look at the card closely, I'm guessing that those block like figures look like the ice. Okay. So that would indicate like hell, maybe, possibly, but it doesn't have to. I see the airplane taking flight. I see this woman who looks like she could have been headed in that direction. Maybe she booked a flight, but she had this thing happen with her car where she's now stuck on the side of the road and she's watching this airplane fly by. So that's a pretty cool depiction of what the meaning of this card actually represents. So let me tell y'all, when I got the booklet, and I just like to look at the keywords a lot of times and allow that to give me more of my messages. But for Issa, the keyword says it's ice is the translation, but it can deal with frozen, plans being placed on hold, stillness, and frustrations, right? So first for me, it's telling me that plans are going to be placed on hold. I feel like there's going to be um, no movement, so that can deal with restriction energy. Okay. And the word frustration definitely stood out because it's like if we have plans in place, okay, if we have plans that are put in place and something comes up or something happens that creates a pause in those plans or completely halts those plans, that can cause frustration. All right. So that's the overall energy surrounding the messages that came forth. So the next card that came out for me in response to the the thoughts and the intentions that I have set is the card for or the rune that deals with home. And the name here is Othala or Othala. And like I said, it represents home. And I'm also noticing that there are women on this card, okay? I'm noticing that there are a lot of maybe generations of women here. So that's important too. I didn't even notice that. I just remember looking it up in the book. And I'm going to go ahead and read the keywords from the booklet. And then I'm going to expound a little bit more on the fact that this is all women. All right. So in the book, the rule for that, let me find it first. The home rule. Here we go. So the translation of that rule is home, and it deals with heritage, it deals with responsibility, it deals with identity, and it deals with loyalty. Those are some beautiful but yet powerful words. So if I'm going to piece these messages together concerning the overall energy, which is the energy of Isa or ice, which could indicate things like restrictions, plans being frozen altogether, put on ice. Okay, not being able to travel, not being able to do certain things that maybe we were planning to do. To pair that now as the overall energy, what's affecting these other messages? The first message out is home. The first message out is heritage and lineage. Okay, it is responsibility. It also talked about loyalty here. So, like on a larger scale of how that may play out for some of us, I feel like this is going to be a time where you're going to have to find your people. You're going to have to be with your tribe of people. And this may not necessarily be people who you are biologically connected to. And I've said that before, okay, in messages that I got from another download. But in this instance, I do feel like this is something connected to our matrilineal line, I also feel, especially since it's women. And I feel like this is mothers here. Okay. So even though plans could be put on pause, put on hold, stopped altogether, and these things could cause frustrations, I think that getting in touch with your heritage, your lineage through your mother is going to somehow be important. I'm not stating that fathers do not matter. Let me make that very clear. But I'm saying that this is going to somehow, this here energy of the moms, the generations of mothers, that's somehow going to be important, okay? Knowing who you are, learning who you are, important. Okay, the next card that came out in response to my questions of spirit is, I'm going to show it here first. This is the rune symbol. Awaz. Let me show you guys over here. Hi to everyone who may be here with me. And it deals with horse. So horse makes me think about forms of transportation, maybe work even. But let me get it from the book, okay? Let me go ahead and go to the book. So horse, it says partnerships. It says trust, teamwork, and motion. So this could be more so like the chariot energy. This could be like the chariot energy. Okay. So that partnership, that teamwork, and that trust. Let me also let y'all see this card close up because I really, really feel like this is important. It is big to see. So first and foremost, I really think that people are going to really need to listen to the women. I don't know exactly I think it's something really important about the women. Okay. I do know. Let me not say I don't know. I do know. So I keep feeling, you guys, like uh and I may not, I don't need to say all women, but women who are tapped into their psychic abilities, you guys, their abilities to commune with spirit and shit. To be honest, this could happen all across the board with the things that could be happening. I feel like we will need to really honor and respect the women who have taken the time to to sharpen that skill, but even those who haven't, they're going to have this ability to hear from spirit and give important information. That's how I'll say that. I'll just leave it like that. I'm not going to try to go into specifics about what information will be. Just know that somehow the woman, that's important somehow. Next, the reason that I talk about this as far as for guidance purposes is I'm going to show you guys the card here on this side first. We've got a compass here and a map here. And you've got two people who are hiking. They're hiking up a hill, a mountain, okay? And you see that the woman, she is already closer to the top of this mountain here. And the fellow is looks to be a distance behind. May not mean anything, may mean everything. Okay. Hi, you guys. We have got the woman that is leading in this journey, guys. Up here, she's leading. She's already closer to the top of the mountain. And you've got the man here following behind. Okay. I'm looking at this map and I'm looking at this compass. This is part of the reason why I feel like in this shutdown, because I do feel like, guys, I just do. I cannot necessarily explain why I feel this way, but I think that there's going to be some type of restrictions, some type of shutdown that's coming, that's going to it's going to basically foil a lot of people's plans. Okay. Um, there's going to be quietness in a way. And I don't know how that's going to show up or how that's going to actually translate, but I'm just thinking of the overall messages I feel like I'm getting. This stillness, it could be in communications. Um, I just feel like that's why women are going to be, it's going to be important for people to listen to the women because they are the oracles. I don't know how else to say that. Not to say that men do not get messages, because they do. They do. But they don't oftentimes act on them because they are disassociated from the wisdom of the spirit that resides within them. But ladies, whether we want to sometimes pick up on messages or not, we get them. We get them all the motherfucking time. So in essence, we've been being trained all of our life in a way. Just energetically speaking, we've been trained to receive messages and gut feelings and stuff like that that help us to discern stuff. We don't always get things right, but spirit is always dealing with us. And in this time that is getting ready to come up, you guys, I just feel like spirit is going to be speaking a lot. And I feel like it's going to come through the women. So that's that with that. They're going to be the guiding forces. They're going to be those who spirit gives instruction and direction on literally which way to go, you guys. Anyway, last but not least, the very last card that came up was I'm going to show you guys this card here. I don't really know how to pronounce this word, but this is the rune symbol. It kind of reminds me of a Z. I'm going to show you guys here as well. And look at the symbology. I'm seeing like a desert, and this is another journey-like card. There's the moon and there's the sun here. All right, let's go ahead and get the keywords from the book. All right, so let me get that one, the one that looks like a Z. Here it is. It stands for endings, progress, endurance, and adaptability. So when I was sitting with myself after I pulled these cards, I really feel like this is indicative of a whole time frame, a whole time period, y'all, that now this is more on a mass scale to me, but it could also pertain just to me personally. But I feel like we're about to go into a season of a journey. Not that we haven't been on it before, but I mean, I'm talking about this is going to affect like everybody. I do feel like places here is going to be like a dry place. I do feel like it's going to be, uh, uh, this is why it's going to be important for you to know who your family is, your heritage. I really feel like this is going to be groups of people, nations of people joining back up together. I'm feeling a vibe of tribe energy, tribal energy is going to be very, very important. Because what's getting ready to happen, people are returning, they're going to be returning to their families, their lineage, where they come from, the people they come from, even if they don't go nowhere. Because I'm telling y'all, I feel like there will be restrictions on travel with this card, okay? I do feel like people, some people may be planning to travel outside of the country, and when whatever happens, happens, everybody not going to be able to get around. Some stuff is going to be shut down. Could be due to weather. It could be anything, okay? But I just feel this vibe of there being this shutdown and nobody being able to move out of this place that is called the US of A, okay? And that will be like that for a long while. That's how I'm feeling. I could be wrong. I am a spirit being in a human encasing, so there's room for error. But I'm just telling you guys what I feel. There's going to be a shutdown. It's going to be like that for a long while. People are going to group together based upon their perceived heritages. Okay? And there's going to be this need to work together. There's going to be a need to work together in order to endure, in order to survive, in order to kind of, in a way, even thrive with the way that things are going here in the USA. This is what this card for sure speaks of to me. This is what this one speaks of for sure to me. It says endings. Endings, progress, endurance, and adaptability. These endings, too, that are coming, they are to facilitate progress for us as a people. Okay? So this may seem bad. It may not feel cool. It may be very uncomfortable. What is happening, this shaking that will be happening, but it is, in fact, to provide progress according to source, according to spirit. Okay? This is to bring forth progress for really the all. So that is the messages that I got from my rule reading. Okay, I'm going to end that portion of this conversation. So I still was like, okay, Spirit, can you give me a time frame on when this energy that you've allowed me to see may take place, right? So I used these astrological dice that I have, and I'm gonna get ready to show them to you in the order that they came out. Okay. So the first die that hit the floor or the table, I'm gonna show this side over here first. It is the Aries symbol here. The Aries energy showed up. So I was like, okay. All right, so what does that mean, Spirit? The next card, I mean, not card, the next die that came out is the Venus symbol. The Venus symbol. Let me show you guys here. The Venus symbol is what came out next. So I'm like, okay, so do this have something to do with Venus in Aries? Right? That's how my mind started rolling. I'm like, okay, okay. Um, and then last but not least, the last dice that came out or die that came out is the number 8. So I'm like, okay, all right. Okie dokie here. So first I'm thinking, is it Venus and Aries 8th month? Okay, whatever. So this led me on these series of questions to figure out, okay, when was Venus's travel, right? When did Venus is Venus in Aries? When did Venus go into Aries? Well, I later found out some information. It did take me down a different path, okay? But the one that for now I have settled on, I went into my astrology app that I use. And sorry to those who are on like YouTube and stuff. I apologize for just looking over here. But so I went into my astrology app that I use and I went to the USA chart that I have saved, and I looked at the USA as of today. I looked at the transits and I looked at the current transit, right? So Venus as of now is in fact in the sign of Leo. Venus is currently in Leo. So that could deal with the 8th energy as well as possibly, and I'm only saying that because we're in the 8th month. But somehow I don't feel like that's all, but for now, that's what I'm tying into. I'm not stuck with that. So it can be something totally different. But Venus is currently in Leo. It's in 14 degrees Leo, which in a few moments I'm going to read just a little bit of information that I gleaned from the astrological meanings of the 14 degree. I'll read that in a moment. But for the Aries energy, Aries is currently the North Node right now. And that's in 27 degrees. So I looked up both of the degree points for both Venus in Leo and for the North Node of Aries. I'm going to read those and I'm going to just kind of talk to you guys about what I feel about that. And I'm going to share some other kind of neat information that I experienced today. As long as it's still today, it's still today. So, I know 8 is like, as far as numerology, it can deal with the energy of abundance and infinity. So, yeah, that's all I know. If you guys know more, please don't hesitate to share. Okay, so let's hop into the information that I found out. Sorry, y'all, I kicked the table. Let's look into the info that I found out about these degrees for Venus and this North Node in Aries energy. Okay, so that's crazy. Okay, the way that this particular document that I look at is set up, I first of all copied the link from a website, so it didn't totally format. But this document has sometimes degree points from like, let's just say 27 to 28. Sometimes it's 26 to 27. So to be quite honest, I'm getting loud. And I need to calm down because I'm excited. I am not always sure which one to read. I just basically have to go off of my instinct or my intuition based upon maybe my frame of reference. Okay. But sometimes I'm led to read both. And so that's what I did do for this. So for the North Node in Aries, I wound up looking at the first degree that had 27 connected to it. And this is what it said: success through a woman and favor. This is not the only thing it said. It said other things, but these are the key phrases that stood out for me. So success through a woman and favor, right? So for those of you who just watched the room reading that I just did, this may make you think about that card that talks about home, okay? And on that card, there were, at least for sure, 2 women that we could see. I assumed that the little baby was also a little girl, which would indicate to me uh, 3 generations of women. But nevertheless, that is what is alluding to the women energy. So that's something to be noted. But when I looked back at the paperwork, I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is not the right degree. So I wrote that one down, and then I looked at the other one. So here's what the other one says. Now, let me also be very clear that I'm choosing these degrees because I'm looking at the energy of the USA. So this is not like a particular person's chart. This is just the United States of America. And I don't have all information totally accurate either. Like, I don't have the birth time of the USA. So, there's that. But I still feel like these energies are definitely relevant. So here we go. For the second, the first understanding of the 27 degrees Aries, it says this, and I think this resonates a lot as well for me. It says, especially for this government, it says reverses of fortune. I think that's true with what's been coming up in all the readings that I've been led to do, and even so-called biblical prophecy, which I do believe in, because I don't think that the Bible is just like this whole isolated book. I think that it's connected to a lot of ancient civilizations and cultures and their prophecies and their predictions. And that's why I think it's usually very accurate. But anyway, so biblical prophecy, other ancient civilizations, prophecies about things that are going to come at the end of the world or at the end of the age. Endings happen all the time. Decades. These are the types of endings. The world doesn't actually end, but the way that we experience the world, the way that we are structured as far as people and groups of people, those are the things that continue to change. The world has still been here as we know it, right? It hasn't totally went kaput and exploded and now it doesn't exist. It's always been here still. It's just the people on the planet tend to shift and change per death and stuff like that, which is a form of an ending and a rebirth. And so thus the energy of this place does change. But anyway, I just want to put that out there because people be talking about the end of the world, and it is the end of the world as in a time frame, as in societal norms, traditions, even what's considered shocking. These are our mentalities, governmental structures, people who reign, people who no longer have authority. These are the things that change. And these are the things that are considered the world ending. So here's what it says: reverses of fortune. The phrase not continue to the end of days was significant here. Breaking up of families and also loss of their traditions. So that was a very important part of the messages that came out for this degree of Aries. I do feel like that's something that's getting ready to happen. Um, yeah. So that's that with that. So for Venus being in 14 degrees Leo, also connected to USA. This is still the USA's chart that I was looking at. So one of the things that really stood out was superiority, the word superiority. The name Michael stood out to me. I literally saw that today. I was in Walgreens and I was in Walgreens. I saw the name of Michael on like the Cokes and stuff. You know how they were advertising the personalized Cokes. So Michael was the first name I see, and Michael has been standing out a lot to me because of the Archangel Michael. Okay, in one of the readings that I did sometime this month, some information heavily came up about the Archangel Michael. Also, for those who read your Bibles, and it doesn't matter whether you associate with the belief system or not, but you've read the Bible, and sorry, y'all, I keep on hitting this thing, and you have read in the book of Daniel or anywhere, and you know about the Archangel of Michael, um, this is what for me is resonating a great deal. And it just so happens that when I was looking up this 14 degrees uh, Venus and Leo placement, Michael came up again. And I just saw that name today while in Walgreens. I showed it to a friend of mine who is um, very intuitive and spiritual like myself. And she already knew what I was, sharing it for. But there's a scripture. That's where I was going with this. There's a scripture over in the book of Daniel that I remember looking into, and I'm going to look into it again for my own reasons. But it talks about at that time, Daniel was, I feel like it was spiritual warfare, but I would have to refresh my memory on the scripture right now. But he talked about the Prince of Persia. The Prince of Persia was somehow battling um, in the ethers, I'm guessing. They were battling, and Archangel Michael stood up to defend the people. And for us, people who don't understand that the Bible is actually literal, not only a literal book, you know, we would think that this is just talking about like a person, but I am learning more and more that the Bible spoke a lot in coding and metaphor, and it wasn't always saying what you think it's saying at face value. So let me read to you this real quick, because this just gave me a different understanding in a way of how Archangel Michael could be showing up for the people. So here's what it says. Here's what it says. Oh my God, my mind just went somewhere else, but let me focus on this. So superiority, Michael, this is all connected to 14 degrees Leo. It says power of government. The power of government will reside. It says maybe an imposing figure. Do something which may call for wide recognition, and it can also indicate ambitious minds or something like that, right? On the side, though, I forgot to write this part down. On the side, there's these descriptions that is given. Let me see if I can pull it up in my Google Docs, because I need y'all to hear this. And I want to say it right so that maybe you can get why I feel like there's something significant to it. All right, hold on. Let me get my glasses so I'll be able to read this. All right, astrological degrees. Okay. I thought that I shared it with myself, but oh well, let's just go to a different account. Let's do that. Bear with me for a moment for those who are led to watch this video. For those who could just be popping in just now, I am talking about, here it is. I'm talking about uh, the things that I feel that Spirit is revealing to me that we can expect coming up shortly, actually. Okay. Um, let's go get it. Oh, excuse me. Let's go get it. We're looking at 14 degrees Leo. That's what I'm looking for right here. (14 degrees Leo. Okay. So I don't, for those who have been on here and you know that I said that the way that this document reads, it can have like, and I'm looking and I feel like I see, okay, yeah. It can have two, it can have two, it goes in between, it can have two different interpretations for what looks like the same degrees. Okay. So when that happens, I have to depend upon my intuition, um, and what I know maybe about any given topic that I might be looking into or person that I'm looking into to help decipher which understanding is most appropriate for the degree that I'm looking into. So in this case, I did read both degrees for the USA, but yeah, I'm sorry, I had a moment where I was rereading it and trying to see how I could, you know. Okay. So yeah, I was looking at both interpretations of these degrees. And the one that stood out the most for me, the one that stood out the most somehow for me is the one that is the second one because of this particular part I'm going to read. So it says, a figure like the angel of the sun. And then in parentheses, it says Michael. So the angel of the sun is connected to the archangel Michael, or just the angel Michael, whatever. And it says, standing erect and striking the earth with the point of a dazzling sword. Now, some people might be like, well, why would you choose that one? First of all, the reason I chose that one is because, like I told y'all, today I saw in the store on the Coke bottle, I saw Michael and I knew that it was a message. And I've already gotten messages about Michael, about the Archangel Michael helping the people, because in the book of Daniel, which is a part of where this information comes from, it expressly states that Archangel Michael, in these times where these prophetic events about the way that the world is out, like the way that the government and or world will be ending, um, and the trouble that the people of a particular God are supposed to experience is going to be happening around these times. And it says that the Archangel Michael is going to stand up to help the people. So if I'm thinking about the Archangel Michael, right? You know, we as humans trying to figure stuff out, it makes sense of things. Anytime I've seen an angel, it's not, I don't see it as the sun. I've seen it as a figure that has wings and shit like that. Well, the sun is connected to Michael. And it says, standing erect and striking the earth with the point of a dazzling sword. So could this be connected to the world heating the fuck up? I think it is. I'm not going to go that deep because I really don't know that much about it. Okay. But I'm saying this is the reason that I went ahead and chose this interpretation, even though the other one could very well be fitting as well. So I'm going to read the interpretation that I feel led to go with, but then I'll go ahead and share the other one um, just to be thorough. All right. And then that'll be I think that'll be the end of this live. I'll share this other information that I got when I tried something kind of new. Okay. And I'll just record a different video. So if you guys want to see that, you'll just have to tell me when you come on and you see this video. All right. So here's the interpretation. I already read it, but this is the one about superiority. So let's go. It says it indicates a person of very superior ability in some special direction, one in whom the power of government will reside, a mind somewhat ambitious but conscious. Oh my God, listen, this could very well also be describing. This could be describing a certain type of person who's going to come onto the scene to help lead the people of God. Moving on though, they could have a Venus in Leo. Oh, or they could be a Leo. Anyway, here goes. It says, oh, that makes sense because also royalty. These are the ones who tend to rule, or they're supposed to anyway. They're prepared for rulership. All right, it says this. One in whom the power of government will reside, a mind somewhat ambitious but conscious of its own powers, which are of no common order, so that no unjust advantage is taken. In some sphere of life, the native um, may be an imposing figure or may do something which may call for wide recognition. Fame and power attend to this. So that's the original, that's what I feel like is important and significant for this degree. But I'm going to go ahead just to be thorough and read this other understanding. And it says this. It says, a broken wheel lies upon the ground while a horse grazes nearby. And then the understanding of it says, and this is talking about the degree, it says, this degree indicates one of small resources, little power of invention, and not much executive ability. The native is very laissez-faire and drifts too easily through life, and this want of direction will be apt to lead him into evil conditions. The native may be fortunate, but it is certain that he will not retain his wealth owing to his own fault. It is a degree of aimlessness. So, I mean, to me, I can also see how this could potentially apply to the US of A, because if you ask, while they weren't aimless, um, they could be now. And I feel like with them possibly, kind of coming over here and taking over of things that did not belong to them, maybe this was a lack of direction. I don't know. I don't really know. I feel more like something is important about the second interpretation. So that's why that stood out and resonated with me. And because I saw Michael, that's why I took that one. There's a gut feeling. Now, what that is pertaining to, how that's going to really show up, I don't really know. I don't know. But yeah, so that's the understanding that I have right now with, and this is all to go along with the rule reading that I read earlier. I hope that this made sense to some people, or that the people who need to see this and can see the importance and significance of it will watch this all the way through to the end, or enough to where you can share your insight. Peace, love, light, and darkness, which all work together to bring balance and harmony, first within ourselves and then within our world. It's been my pleasure to share my thoughts, the messages that Spirit shared with me, with all who may come into contact with this video. So be it, and so shall it be. Let's see, close this. All right.